1, 2, 3. Hi, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Be Uplifted. Hey, pew pew pew. Dude, I think it's one of those nights for all of us.
It is a night.
It is 10:30 in the evening.
Sorry, I work off witch hours.
You know, Lonnie's like, I'm sorry.
I can't do anything about it right now. I'm trying. But yeah, so today we are going to talk about, I feel like my opinion right now is the difficulties of being a parent, which is disciplining your kids.
Oh.
Kick them.
According to Vince, you throw them downstairs.
Right.
Kick them down the
Kick them downstairs, yes.
Right. Well, okay, so the reason why I bring this up because obviously my daughter just turned 1, for those who don't know. And I can already see some little things about her, and I'm like, I wanted your guys' opinion of what's a good way how to discipline her from a father's point of view.
From a father's point of view. Do you know that the child actually is, like, personality-wise, I think it's set at 3?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think the personality develops, like, as early as 3, or it's locks at 3.
Okay.
But, like, I mean, what okay, so what exactly are you the problems that you're running into?
Okay, I didn't mean it for it to be like a therapy session on my kid.
But it sounds like, I mean, because, how old, Alyssa?
She's 23.
Yeah.
24 this year.
Yeah. Annabelle's turning 21 this year, so we're kind of far removed from the discipline stage.
I know, but I mean, like, at least you guys can give me put your kids out on blast and give me some pointers of, like, things that they did and how'd you guys discipline them.
Well, I think you just have to be consistent. I mean, I think that, that discipline always comes from how you were brought up.
Right. Well, and so I guess it goes to this, right, is that the way I grew up was obviously, like, very
Dysfunctional.
And this whole new era right now, like, someone has asked me recently, how do you plan on parenting your kid? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, are you gonna be like that soft parent, I forgot if that's the phrase, but, like, are you planning to soft parent or soft, I can't even think of the word right now.
Are you going to be a lenient, like, more, like, softer, like, basically not so
Like a
strict?
bad parent. You're a bad parent.
Well, because, like, instead of, I guess how I grew up is, like, if you do something wrong, like, if you say don't touch something and you keep saying it and then they, like, like, hit you or whatever, like, that's not a thing now. Like, apparently there's other ways to go about saying you shouldn't be saying no anymore, apparently, and, like, all this shit. I'm like, wait, how do you not say no?
Yeah, I would, like, I don't agree with, like, the new generation right now.
Yes. Same.
So I lucked out because Alyssa was, or at least the way that I remember her, she was just, like, always an angel, and she was always like, she was always like daddy's little girl. But I think the main thing was that when she did mess up and I did need to discipline her, it was more psychological than it was like physical. Like, when I did spank her, I would put her hand in my hand and I would cup it and I would just make the noise. So I didn't really hit her, but she would, she would be scared of it. And then like, when she got older and, like, we had all that quality time and everything, one of the things that I would say to her was, like, are you trying to upset me? And then she would say no. And I said, okay, well, we have to learn to do it different. And from there, like, I realized that it was a lot easier for her to learn with me as opposed to being scared of me. Because I don't think my daughter's ever been scared of me.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, I don't think my daughter's ever been scared of me, but that's always been, like, what I tried to teach. Like, the one thing I don't want is I don't want my daughter to hide things
Right.
for fear of being like yelled at or being in trouble. Because the last thing you want to do as a parent, especially as a dad, is that you if there's a problem, you want to be able to fix it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to be able to fix it before it's too late. So I've always given it where I told my daughter, whatever it is, you got to tell me, and we'll handle it, before it gets even worse.
Right. Do you think it would have been different if you guys had boys versus girls?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would have like been really hard on him.
Yeah.
Like, how would you have disciplined if you had a boy, you think?
Closed fist punches to the face.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay.
But only till they're like 14 months. After that, then you start being mean to them. You know what I'm saying?
Goodness, yeah.
Nah,
Please don't call CPS on it. I mean, it's too late now for them, but
I think when it comes to boys, it's almost like boys learn by doing dumb shit. I learned how things work by doing dumb shit. Like, put on a football helmet and running into like the fence.
yeah.
That stuff. And then I eventually know that shit's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And I stop.
Yeah.
I mean, boys are like that. It's like, okay, go figure that shit out.
You know what's funny is like, okay, so my daughter, I don't know what it is, but like, so our bed is like pushed up against to the corner of the wall of our room, right? Okay. And she'll climb into bed with us or whatever, or I should say we place her in the bed with us, and she thinks it's hilarious to bump her head on the wall. And I'm like, girl, what is, and then she just bunks her head and then she just sits there like it doesn't hurt. And that thing is loud. Yeah. It's really loud.
Well, it's hollow.
Yeah. But I'm like, how do I stop
the wall.
her?
The wall. Not Sorry, not her head. The wall.
Yeah.
But it's just, you hear the noise. Doom.
Yeah, it's
Doom. And again, that's like that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's the same as boys. You bang and you just watch, and then eventually they're gonna do it too hard,
or they're gonna hit the stud.
Yeah. Then it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, now you're not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
So I should just let her keep doing it.
Well, I mean, as long as it doesn't like put a hole in the wall. I mean,
Okay.
obviously if she's sitting there like banging, I mean, there's trauma that can happen,
Right,
TBIs, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot louder than it is hurting.
Okay. Because you know me, I'm obviously first time parent learning, and I'm like, no, like something could happen to you. Stop,
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
But
how
you can
But
always
that doesn't
pull the
matter.
bed.
We're both still first time parents.
Yeah.
That's true.
But you could still pull the bed from the side. Like, speaking of, like, the one thing that I don't like, because I once put my bed up against the wall like that, it's like the stain that happens because you have to clean that because it starts to mismatch because obviously your sweat and whatever. But anyway,
Sweat from what? No, just joking.
from being alone.
Wait, I have a question for you. Have you ever tried that thing where you get like a stuffed animal, and like let's say if they didn't like eating their vegetables, you pretend to feed it to the stuffed animal. When they don't eat it, you start hitting it,
I have.
and then you throw it, and then like they see it, so you try to feed them, and they're like, "Oh, I'll eat it now."
I've seen that, and to be honest with you, I want to try it.
I really want to try that too, like with puppies and stuff. Because like I think that if you lead by example, I think that would
Lead by example.
you know what I'm saying though, because like there's
Yeah.
been I've seen like TikToks or like Instagram stories or something like that where they have a kid that they're trying to feed, or they're trying to like tell, give an example of like a bad behavior and then a punishment, but then they're like extreme with the stuffed animal. And then the kid's like, "Oh, fuck that."
Well, yeah,
I don't
I
want
don't
that
want to be
shit
that
done.
guy.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I've never thought of it that way.
Do you,
I missed out on that.
What I mean, to physically abuse a stuffed animal, it's kind of like, I don't. Does that breed like the mindset where it's okay to be
Violent.
violent?
Yeah, that's another thing I think about too. You're like, yeah, it's okay.
It's like,
I mean,
yeah.
okay, in all honesty, and I might get shit for this, but like, I do believe in like spanking, but not like abusing. You know, like to the point where they are like they can't walk or some shit. You know.
Oh yeah, like don't like really hurt them, just enough to scare them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember shooting Alyssa with rubber bands all the time.
I
I was really good. I always hit the skin.
Oh my god.
I grabbed the belt. The belt was like the ultimate.
Dude.
I mean, I've been hit with everything,
Yeah.
I did it with my daughter once.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's scary because like I think about that all the time too, right? Because I was hit with the belt, like the fucking PVC pipes and shit. Like I've been hit.
PVC pipes.
Dude, I've been
That shit hurts. That's
Oh,
no
yeah.
give.
Oh yeah.
I mean, unless you're talking about 30-foot, like. But anyway,
I've been hit with like a bunch of shit, you know. But yeah, so now I'm like, obviously, going into being a parent now, I'm like, okay, what should be like? How would I would have wanted it better for my kid? You know, not to be like.
well, you're not
that.
gonna whip your
No,
child
of
at
course not.
1,
Right.
7 maybe. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, like 13 maybe.
Yeah.
But not at 1. They're they're still kind of learning.
Yeah.
But eventually, you're like, boy, 10 years old, you better shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's so, and what's also I'm struggling with too is that they do something bad, like you don't obviously want them to do it. So, you know, in Filipino culture they're like, oh, they think it's a joke when you say palo, palo, right? So now Alina's like fucking following me, like going like slapping my face because she thinks it's funny, and then she'll do like a funny face after, and it's like I'm trying not to laugh to let her know like it's not okay, but then she still does it. So I'm like, I don't know how I should stop her.
I think you have to learn that whole raising the voice, use a
Yes.
different voice,
Yeah,
and then she kind of like maybe you'll snap into her.
right. I feel like it's so much harder, right? Because she's only one.
Yeah.
So
But you know what? I honestly believe it's not raising kids today is the same as raising kids before. It's just that there's electronics and you hear people stand on their soapboxes on social media telling you that how much difficult it is. But realistically, I would say raising a human is the same as it always was.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
You know, one thing that I've actually done is because at the studio we have kids that come by and they take family portraits and stuff. So I've actually told photographers and parents that if I have to be the asshole, I'm down. So what that basically means is if a kid like is rowdy or they're misbehaving or something, I come in and just be a fucking asshole to that kid just to scare them. And then the parents look like the good, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like
yeah.
like if they're sitting there and they're playing the piano or something like that, and it's annoying because they can't play because they're stupid. Like untalented, probably like were dropped or something, you know, just like a waste of space.
yeah,
I'll go to them while they're playing with it and I'll look at them and I'll just be like, I didn't say you could do that. And then just keep on looking at it. If you just give them a death stare, they'll get scared.
yeah,
Right.
And then they could go to their parents where their parents are like, oh, see, I told you. And then I can look like a dick because they're never going to see me again. Or if they do, they're not going to remember. Or if they do remember, maybe they won't be such a piece of shit when they come back to the studio. So they can, like, the parents look good. I have no problem looking like an asshole, but at least I instill the fear without actually hurting them. You know?
Did you guys ever establish with your baby's mother, like, you know, they always do like good cop, bad cop type of thing?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. How did that play out for you guys? Like what kind of scenario did you guys do with that?
Scenarios?
It has to be, I guess, not exact scenarios, but like, I
Like
guess
if she's like the bad cop, and then like I'll come in and I'll kick her in the chest and then save my daughter, and then I
yeah,
look like the hero.
like okay, like let's say, I can't even think of an example right now. But you know what I mean? Like when let's say like you, what am I trying to think of an example?
I know what you mean, like the good cop, bad cop, but I honestly have never had to do it.
Like that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that discipline has to be the same.
For
It's
both.
almost like good cop, bad cop only kind of works if you want a confession.
Mm,
You know what I mean? I think when it comes to discipline, it's more like you just have to be as the parents, you just have to be on the same page.
right.
You can't, because the problem with good cop, bad cop is that it gives the child a way out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then at that point, then you lose your authority.
Right.
You know, at some point, if no matter if you were the good cop or the bad cop, you're gonna have to switch roles at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Yeah.
you can't, it's not, you don't want it coming back and saying, well, the last time you weren't. You know what I mean?
Well,
Well,
also like if you play that good cop bad cop, you might give the idea that Alina can start to think, well, I could get away with this with dad, or I could
That's
get
what-
away
yeah.
with this with mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that would be a good approach,
Mm-hmm.
but it really is hard for me to put myself in that, because like Alyssa, like she was always like an angel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think that she's ever lied to me. I don't think that she's ever been afraid to tell me something, you know? So I can't really imagine. I think that she was more open with me than with her mom. Um but that's also skewed too, because she was living with her mom a lot more. So it makes it a little bit harder. It sucks because like I was the fun parent, but then I was the one that was seeing her less,
Mm-hmm.
because whether it was the fact that me and her mom were together and I was working more, or we're already separated and she was just living with her mom.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit harder, but I always try to make it so that she could feel like she could come to me for anything.
Right. Well, I mean, I feel like any parent would want that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that your biggest issue is not an issue. I mean,
it's not an issue.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's one.
Yeah.
I mean, you're worried about it now, but she's one. I think sometimes like if you really want to play good cop, bad cop, it's almost like the cool parent, like the uncool parent. I'll wait till like they're like 11 or
Older.
12.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Jason and I have definitely talked about like, how, I don't want to say how, but when we are disciplining her, for example, like now she's at the point where when I like change her diaper, she always just wants to freaking like move all the time, like flip over. And then, of course I get frustrated, right? Cause I'm like trying to change her and I'm like, I gotta like hurry up and get out the door to go to work or something like that, So there was one time he walked in on her and I was changing her and I used I raised my voice and I was like, Alina, like, stop or whatever. I forgot exactly what she was doing. And then he can tell, he's like, he noticed like, okay, like, let me just leave you guys alone. Cause he has taken her from me one time and I got really upset because I was like, no, she needs to understand that like, she needs to listen from me too. She can't just get away from shit all the time.
Yeah.
But
he can raise his voice too.
That
Like saying her name loud enough.
Yeah, like listen to mom kind of thing.
Yeah.
I agree. What kind of conversations or like what kind of things do you think I should like say or talk about with Jason to understand what kind of parenting style or how we would like to discipline her?
Well, I mean that's yours.
But what have you experienced or like what things have you like? What do you wish you and your baby mothers could have talked about how you can agree upon something? Like, is there certain things like on of like when you guys go out in public, right? Like, are they allowed to have like, well, now people fucking have their iPads and shit, right? Like, are they allowed to have that? Like, what kind of things you think I can talk about with him to make sure we're on the same page about?
No, that thing. Look, so it's a family, it's a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you decide you guys are gonna have a nice dinner without iPads, you just say it.
Right.
Then he has to back you up.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there has to be like a let's sit down and and write down our guidelines.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that it's more or less like, you as two people that got together now have a child and you guys are in this relationship. We're still waiting for the ring though, Jason. You hopefully have the same morals and the same values,
Yeah.
and those two together you instill upon your child. But obviously, if you're gonna go someplace where it's a nice dinner, and you say no iPads, then it's no iPads.
Yeah.
Then she has to learn to suck it up.
Right.
And if she complains to Jason will, no, your mom said no iPads. And end of story.
Yeah.
He has to kind of back you up too.
Yeah. No, we have talked about something like that too, where if I say something and he goes along with it, but like, let's say like later down the line and the way I maybe have approached something and he doesn't agree with me, I told him, wait until I'm done talking to her and then pull me to the side and us talk about it. And then we can reapproach her together. So it looks like we're a team,
You guys are talking like she's
No, I mean,
15.
not right. No, but I'm saying like, because we think about that. We think about the future as far as like how we would want to be with her,
Yeah.
because we're so traumatized by our parents parenting us. We just want to make sure like we are on the same page and do the right thing.
Okay, so sometimes I always wanted to ask this, right?
Okay.
Like when people say I was so traumatized by my parents growing up, could a lot of those traumas actually be good? Like you look at it from your point of view that it was so traumatic, but actually it was for your own good.
Or maybe you're just a bitch.
I like
You
it.
ever think of that?
Every time Vince says, "I think you're a bitch," he points at the camera.
Like, are you talking to a specific person?
Yeah.
A bitch.
No, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. It's like I think a lot of times it's we hear that now in. I mean, maybe
Like it's just thrown out.
Maybe your generation.
Yeah.
I don't know if mine and Vince's generation ever talks about traumas unless you're a bitch. But for me, like, I got my ass whooped, but I knew not to fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's maybe the way how I'm saying it, I don't know how everybody else is, but like I was scared to talk to my parents about anything. Like they I was scared. Even if it was like something minor, I was so scared to talk to them. And then, or I wasn't allowed to express like my feelings or to have any feelings,
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things where I'm saying like I'm traumatized by.
Well, there's also this camp, right? There's these different camps, and like a lot of parents, like to this day, still says, "I'm not your friend. I'm your parent."
Right.
If you wanted a best friend, go find one.
You've said that. Yeah.
No, I said if you want somebody to make you feel better, talk to your homegirls. If you want a solution, talk to me.
Right.
Right.
So I mean, again, that's just your parenting style, and I think there's pros and cons to everything, but it's just a matter of what you want to instill in your child.
Yeah.
I don't think any parent is ever going to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and raising a child is never going to be perfect. You're going to have your ups and downs.
For sure.
Yeah, it's good. It's for one thing, you guys don't have to see eye to eye when you guys are parenting. You guys can be different and have the same goal and still achieve that goal. What you guys should do is talk and see which one is going to be more effective. Are you going to go 80-20, the more stern or coddling way? You know what I'm saying? So just see how that works. You know, your child is, you know, she's gonna grow up to be a beautiful person, but think of this as an opportunity to experiment with a human.
Well, okay, what kind of stuff would you want to experiment if you were to go round two?
Whoa.
So I here's one thing that I noticed was when my daughter was when she would do stuff at school and stuff like that, I didn't give her the satisfaction of being proud of her without her being proud of herself first.
For example, like,
So like when she was in a play, she's like, "Dad, how did you feel about it? Or did you like it?" And I said, "Well, how did you feel about it?" She's like, "Oh, I had so much fun." I was like, "I really enjoyed it." You know, because I don't want her to try to get
validation.
yeah,
from your
validation from
feelings.
other people. I wanted her to validate her feelings first. You know, because the way that she feels about herself is very important. So I didn't try to, or I tried to not validate her feeling or provide that validation through me. You know, it was just more of a reassurance,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I also told her if she fucked up, she fucked up.
Right.
You know, but
Are you gonna tell it to her face too?
oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe with my hand too. It's just
You stupid.
yeah.
Open.
Have you had any experiences like that too with
No,
your daughter?
not really. I just, you know, I just try to lead with by example, and I think that's like the one of the best things that you can do as a parent is like you have your own set of values, you have your own set of how you solve things, and then your child pays attention to you, no matter if you
Yeah.
think they're not. I mean, some of their mannerisms, you know, like even now you go, look, she does it just like Jason,
Yeah.
or she does it just like me, because they watch you, they mimic you.
Yeah.
So that one of the best things you can do is that when you're raising a child, you guide them by
Right.
what you're doing. If you're gonna be rude to the random person at McDonald's that's simply working there, guess what?
Shouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah, they're gonna grow up thinking that's perfectly okay to berate somebody for no apparent reason.
Yeah. Sorry.
You can also do this. If you want to discipline them without hitting them, you just tell them, you know, if you're lying, the devil will touch you and you'll burn. Right? And
Yeah.
before you leave, you put icy hot on your finger and then just touch their cheek. And just tell them it's gonna be okay though, as long as you don't lie. But when you touch them, it starts burning.
I'm gonna put that in the books. Like,
Then you become the devil.
No,
you,
because it doesn't burn right away. You have a couple seconds. You just gotta leave right away.
you blow on it.
oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm dead.
But I mean, I won. I didn't even think about all that stuff.
Am I crazy to think it like that? Maybe it's also because like
You're overcompensating for what you think that you lacked when you were a child.
yes.
So you're like, oh, what can I fix now at one?
See, for me,
No,
the
like, it is
biggest
though.
problem.
That's what
Yeah.
you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You're trying to fix all your fault of your parents' fault
Yeah.
at now at one, which essentially can also be detrimental going forward.
Yeah.
Because you can overcompensate.
Wait, how?
Well, if you coddle them and then they become a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you were totally ignored by your parent because they were being like, let's say the mindset of I'm your parent, not your friend, and now you switch it. Now you're a friend. So now so now your best friend next to you is gonna walk all over you because they're your friend, not your child,
Yeah.
and you're their friend and not their parent.
Fuck, I hate you guys right now. So right. Because I'm like, it's okay, baby. Like, I need to stop with that.
Yeah, but see, for me, the only thing that I was worried about, oh my God, I hope I don't drop it.
I was like, how we can afford these Pampers?
Yeah. Please don't roll off the table.
Yeah, I'm worried about SIDS. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried now that you're 1 year old, you can hop out of your the little what is
crib
that thing?
or
the crib,
whatever.
the little side, the little small one, the pop up. What is that one thing called?
Oh, the pack and play. No.
Yeah. The whatever that thing's called. Like you
Yeah.
can now jump out of it.
Dude, that's just scary.
I remember when I first saw my daughter do that. It was random. I was like playing video games, and she just like come over, and she's like, "What the?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, she fell off the bed one time. I was fucking traumatized. It's actually a pretty funny story.
Have you fallen out of bed before?
When I was drunk,
Yeah. What happened?
I mean, I was fine, but she fell, I think, head on, like straight on her head. And it was high. Whatever. Okay, well.
It's carpet?
No.
Hardwood?
Wood.
Oh, wow.
There's no carpet in my house.
Rich.
No.
So how is she now?
I mean, she's okay, obviously.
So
Okay, yeah, I know. I'm just over worried, right? But okay, so I'll tell you the story though, because it's kind of funny. So she woke up in the middle of the night, or whatever, and we're like patting her to sleep, and then we all end up falling asleep on our bed, right? And I had to go use the restroom, right? So Jason's knocked out and she's knocked out, right? So I'm in the bathroom, right, taking a shit, and like, I'm fucking
Your
like
private time on your phone.
I was on my phone. I was on my phone scrolling, right? But before I went to the bathroom, I like shook Jason. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to the bathroom." He's like, yeah, whatever, right? So I'm scrolling, and all of a sudden, like, I literally just the kid just came out of the kid dropped the kid off the pool, dropped the kid in the pool, right? And all of a sudden, all I hear is bang really hard, and you just hear, ah! Jason got up really quick. I didn't even get to wipe my ass yet before I could I ran to the room and checked on her.
Did you jump out like a hunchback so you don't drop?
Honestly, I cleaned up after. But
wait,
like,
she fell in it.
So because at the end of our bed it has her diaper pail thing, right?
oh my
And
gosh, she fell in this shit.
And I think she was just curious because obviously the door was open too, and I think she like woke up because sometimes she'd be waking up from the dead, and she comes crawling at the end, and all of a sudden I think, because I didn't see it and he didn't see it, but the way she landed, you can tell like she flipped.
What are you guys, forensic experts?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
judging by the arc of the fall.
I'm just saying.
There was a struggle.
I'm just saying it
seemed
had
as
to
though
be.
from the first half of the bed, she gained some speed to get this velocity.
Well, you know how to make sure where her buckle was and stuff. So
did she have one?
yeah, she did. I felt
Has she
so
done
bad.
it? Has she done it again?
She came close to it.
Lesson learned. See, she was like, no.
No, she still will. Well, no, we fucking hella watch her. I no.
That means you need to put your bed higher. Didn't learn the lesson.
Oh my god, so nervous.
Dang.
Yeah, I know. But now that, she's walking, right? She's walking and whatever. And like, she's fell a couple times and I haven't picked her up a couple times, so she can learn how to fall properly. Now she falls properly. Like, she falls on her butt. So thank God for that.
Oh yeah, like the story I tell when Alyssa learned how to skateboard and I'll throw rocks.
You really did that?
So that she learns that it's not so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to play basketball, we used to play sports, and I'll go rough on her. Like, I wouldn't like hella kick her ass unless it was like she deserved it. But I would, like, when we play soccer, I'll purposely kick the ball at her. I wouldn't try to hit her face, but I had good aim, so I'd be hitting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would hit her with that shit. So she realizes that it's not that bad. Or if she does fall, like if she's going like 2 miles an hour, I'll throw a rock.
Yeah.
So that she could fall and she learns how to roll,
No, it's smart. Yeah. Do you remember? Did you?
I burped.
I was like, what?
Sorry, y'all.
Did you? I was like what the? Do you have any fond memories of your daughter? Of like,
Yeah, obviously. Fond memories of my daughter? Yes, a lot.
I like how Vince, to teach her, so it's okay to fall. I
mean,
have fond memories.
she had like she had taekwondo. I mean, my memories of my daughters are
Did you keep her active?
yeah,
Yeah.
active.
From like what starting at what age?
I mean, we were at the skate park a lot, and then she'd ride her bike around, like normal stuff.
That's not normal to me.
Huh?
That's not normal to me.
What do you mean not normal to you? Riding a bike?
I never learned how to ride a bike.
You still don't know how to ride a bike?
No. That's one of my secrets, yeah. I didn't know how to ride a bike. I still don't learn how to ride a bike.
Shh, people might hear.
Yeah. You don't know how to ride a bike?
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to play outside when I was a kid.
Why not?
Because I was the only girl.
Okay.
Number one. I was with all boys, so they made me always stay inside or whatever. Yeah. And because I don't know why. They just never wanted me to play outside. Even when I played outside, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go play in the backyard, right? Safe. No one's gonna fucking take me or whatever. They're like, no, you're gonna get too dark or some shit. Like I wasn't allowed to go outside like that. I got a
typical Filipino. No,
Yeah.
you're gonna get dark.
I got like a training wheel ones, right? And I went with my dad a couple times, but like a bike, just no training wheels, never. You know who is funny? Who tried teaching me was Shell. You guys remember Shell, right? She tried teaching me, and every time I would go on, I would fucking fall into a bush. So,
I think that's the next project here on BUplifted.
No.
Is to have you. I mean, so you haven't done the whole like bike riding at Coronado, like bike riding at the beach or whatever.
Nope.
So you're gonna deprive your child
No.
of riding a bike because you can't ride with her?
Yeah.
No, Jason could teach her.
No, but I mean, like if you guys actually had like, let's ride the bike down the boardwalk day.
Then we can rent one of those where we all sit together and just.
No. No.
Why not? Let's we're all doing it together, you know.
Oh my god, I feel so sorry for your child.
Yeah. She's one.
So maybe I shouldn't talk about disciplining my kid. I should talk about the activities.
Yeah, stop being a pussy.
Yes, go ride a
Well, I
bike.
kinda have one.
Why are you so scared to learn to ride a bike now?
I'm not scared. I just never thought of doing it.
Well, what if your daughter eventually says, "Mommy, let's go ride bikes"?
Then I'd be like, "Mommy needs to learn."
Yeah, but how long?
So learn.
You learn.
I got
now.
a schedule, you know. I gotta fit it into my schedule.
How long were you taking a shit while she fell off the bed?
I don't know. I didn't time it.
Yeah, see that was.
I'm not gonna time.
You could have
my
learned to ride a
precious
bike at that
time.
point.
Yeah, you can. So you have time to let your child fall face first into the floor, but you don't have time to ride a bike.
Apparently,
Right.
yes.
So next time they say they don't have time to post reels, I'm like, you were in the shitter for 15 minutes scrolling while your child fell off the bed.
Thanks. Another one added to the fucking guilt trip. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't believe. Well, yeah, it's not something I really talk about. I don't know how to ride a bike. I know how to swim. I know some people who don't know how to swim. But I'm gonna teach. So okay, about that, right? So
Hey, Rich, I could read a book.
I know a lot of people that don't know how to read books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck you guys. No, so there's this
Hey, Rich, I could parallel park.
Oh, I
I
know,
know a lot of people that get.
I know a lot of women. I mean people.
you guys. So I want to start. Okay, you're gonna think I'm crazy again, but there's these classes for 12 months old for like swimming classes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I want to like get her into that, and even like those like foam jungle gym thingies for kids. I want to like do that with her too, like so she can learn like tumbling or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, my daughter did that.
yeah.
In Poway, like this jungle, like almost a gymnastics thing. Yeah, so she was active. Almost forgot.
Well, we
sorry.
have Sky Zone here.
Oh, down the
The
street.
trampoline.
Yeah.
Foam thing. I think. they
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
How was that? Like, how did you think that was beneficial for her?
Not
doing
well. It just you gain it's like confidence. You learn to just like you see it and you do it.
Yeah. Because of there's just me fucking reading about that shit and like social media coming up, because that's all about my algorithm right now, is like their motor skills and like all this shit, right? And I think that's why I've also been into my head about this whole disciplinary thing, is because that's all my fucking algorithm be showing me. So,
well, we didn't have an algorithm when we were raising
that's
our
why
child.
I'm curious.
We were the algorithm.
Yeah, we were just like we just messed with our kid.
Yeah.
And we knew our boundaries. Like, my daughter is still alive, so we did okay. But I still let her ride a motorcycle. You know, like I got her one of those electric motorcycles, the Razor ones, the ones that look like a Vespa, but then they can go like 15 miles an hour.
The 30cc ones or whatever.
No, they're
the
so
battery
not
one.
not the mini bike, but it was like a battery operated one.
Yeah.
So I have a picture of her just riding on it, and she was like small as fuck. I think she was like 10, probably not even that. Yeah, she could have died.
I thought when you were talking about it, I thought you were talking about like those pocket bikes. I'm like, damn, we got a little pocket bike.
No, I had one, but then like, no, it was so much easier to have a plug-in one. And then she would hog it, so I was like, oh man. So I got her the electric one. And then I was like, oh, this is actually strong enough to like take me.
Yeah.
So I used to take that to 7-Eleven.
Okay, so rewinding a little bit, it's gonna get like a little personal. You don't have to go too much into detail, but like, has there ever been a time for you guys that you were disciplining her and you're like, fuck, maybe I was a little too hard? And if so, like, how did you reel it back?
I didn't. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't take it back.
But you never like brought her back and was like, okay, I think I was a little too hard on you, kind of thing. No. You stood your ground the whole time. What about you?
Well, I don't think that I ever got to that point where I thought that I was too hard on her. I was like, bones heal. Just leave it. Put dirt on it and she'll be okay. Soon as she get consciousness back, she knew not to fuck up.
Damn. Y'all hardcore.
Well, you actually believe that shit?
No, I know he's not.
He like you're hardcore, like you believe him.
No, I'm talking about how like you guys really like just stood your ground to it.
That's because we're good parents.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Oh, you grinded for 3 months. Oh, make that 3 weeks. No,
but like
what is harsh for you?
I have mine's okay.
Like, what is okay? If you wanted this, if you ask me that question, what would you think I would tell my daughter that would be quote unquote too harsh, that I would have to take it back?
I wouldn't say like maybe not what you said, but something that you have like could have done, right? So for example, like when I was a kid, when my dad would fucking beat me, and we're till like it was really hard for me to sometimes even walk, right? Like I couldn't even walk correctly.
Okay, first of all, I'm not gonna abuse my daughter.
Okay,
anyway,
right.
Go ahead.
But I'm saying like, okay, and then like I go to school the next day and he felt bad, so he would come the next day and take me out of school and take me to go get ice cream.
No, he didn't feel bad. He just felt like you would tell somebody and he would get in trouble.
Yes, he felt guilty.
Yeah, he felt guilty. He didn't feel bad. And I don't feel guilty for any of the disciplining that I've done with my daughter, but then I never had to go that far.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm just too traumatized and I'm overthinking this shit.
Yeah,
we don't take shit back because we don't abuse our children.
Yeah.
I'm okay, guys. I already went through CPS and shit, so we're good.
I'll just be like,
see that you actually went through CPS?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like we didn't go that far.
Yeah.
To be able to take it back, we kind of had this, the right mindset to be like, no, that's gonna be. I one time as a kid, I had bad grades at school. I wasn't allowed to watch TV for the entire summer.
Oh shit. But that
You think my mom went? Sorry, 3 months is a little hard to not have TV. Why don't we make it a month and a half? No, my mom was like, no, 3 whole fucking.
Yeah,
People,
well, that's understandable.
My whole family watched TV and had my back turned because I couldn't watch TV.
I love it.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But hey, I remember that shit. I was like, damn, this shit's harsh.
But then from then were you like, fuck no, I'm not gonna try and get bad grades? Did you ever have bad grades?
I didn't care because you could still hear her. It's like I was like the first audiobook customer.
So you had like pictures in your head putting it together.
That's why he learned how to draw. He's like, I wonder what this is.
Yeah, my drawing skills got so much better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm just maybe my shit was just so extreme.
yeah.
Yeah, stop planning on taking it out on your daughter.
I'm not gonna take it out on my daughter. No,
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
just
gonna take it out.
man, I know it just I don't know, man. Like I speaking of abuse, I don't understand how people can do it. It's your child. It's like my daughter's the most precious thing to me. I could not ever lay my hands on her to the point of actually like scarring and bruising.
Yeah.
You just
You guys are good parents. That's great.
no, we're regular people.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say that because we didn't abuse our child.
You're supposed to not abuse your child. Yeah.
It doesn't
I
work.
guess I'm just fucked up in the head over here.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
But-
me and Rich, we parented. She's doing this whole preemptive strike. Like, how am I gonna fuck with my kid without fucking her up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why she came to us with this.
she's like, he
Question.
pulls it out. Oh my God, a human.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna make me fucking laugh so
She's
hard
all
again, I
digging in
can't
there. Where's the
breathe.
instructions? Fuck.
Yeah, I
Ugh.
mean, the thing is, she's one. You gotta. There's obviously things that you learned from your parents that you're not gonna do, like abuse her,
Yeah.
verbally, mentally, physically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you just show her how it is to actually function in this world, and you and Jason just have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And you know what somebody says is what the other parent says. If Jason says, "No, you can't have ice cream," you better say no. Nobody gets ice cream,
Yeah.
no matter if you want it more than Alina. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there, like we understood that we had different parenting skills, but then at the same time we also had a goal in mind. You know, so even though I didn't end up with her mom, you know, in the long run, even though we didn't get along, we always wanted the best for our daughter.
Right.
So if Alyssa came in and she had a black eye, I would immediately punch her in the face to show her that, look, your mom gave you a black eye. I don't know why, but I agree with her. So here's another one. You know what I'm saying? You gotta and then I found out that her mom wasn't even home. She just fell down. I was like, oh, fuck. So now she has two black eyes. I gotta explain that to her mom.
Did you
Anyways.
get a black eye later?
Yeah, I got a black eye too.
You're like, look, daughter, we're matching now.
Yeah, see, I'm a good parent.
So I guess we
So
just
what?
learned-
Okay, so let's go back to your traumas.
Oh my
Like, what is the one thing
gosh.
you fear the most?
Like for myself or for my kid?
No, that you fear the most in regards to raising her, whether it's something you feel like you can mess up on, or something you feel like you're inadequate with, or something you feel like you need to correct to compensate for what you went through as a child.
To be honest, it's just like a lot of things, right? Because I grew up with just a single parent, so I'm like wanting to make sure that number one, I'm both of her and her father and I will be present actively in her life, you know. And him too. He only he's never known his dad. And then who raised him was his grandparents, you know, and the way that he grew up was like grandma gave him everything versus
Because she's a grandma.
right. And his mom was kind of in the picture, but then ended up kind of like moving away later on in life. So for me, it was just, I don't know. I'm just like, you guys can see that I'm just over in my head about making sure that I do things correctly and not redo everything that was happened to me, which I know I'm not, right? But it's more of like, I want her to make sure that she feels validated in her own way. So like you said, and also knowing that it's okay to make mistakes.
You know, one thing that I would say is and I don't mean to cut you off, but I know I'm gonna forget this if I don't
Go
say
ahead,
it right
yeah.
away. Is don't try to live your life through her.
Mm.
You know, whatever it is that you wish that happened to you and stuff, don't force it on her.
Mhm.
But if you want to give her this like fantasy life that you lived, give her that option,
Right.
but don't force her to take it.
Yeah.
You know, because then she's just gonna grow up to resent you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's one of the things I was gonna say too. Is like, I think my dad was trying to give me or make me feel like I had no other options. I had to live by what he says, and I don't want that for my kid.
Yeah.
You know, whatever he says goes to a certain extent. Like literally everything, what I wore, what I did at school. He picked my classes in high school for me because he didn't want me to do anything else. Like, sure, he made it sound like, yeah, go ahead and do this, but no, really, you should be taking these Spanish classes and then you should be doing ASB. But then get mad at me that I have to go set up at fucking homecoming 2 hours before the dance or some shit when I should be at home cleaning or something. You know, like shit like that. So, yeah, that's basically. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you don't want to be an overbearing parent.
Well, you
Yeah.
asked the question. What was the question?
No, well, I was asking what her fears are.
Oh, okay.
In regards
man,
to-
I was so lost.
Well, and like, no, I mean, I know my mom listens, so no offense to my mom, but like, I never knew what it was really like to have a mom, you know, so, or like have a motherly figure or woman figure in my life, you know, so that's another fear for me too.
Yeah, but then I think that, I mean, Vince and I are at the age where
We could
Wait.
be mothers.
women were kind of brought up a little different than they were, than they quote unquote technically are today. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, learning to cook,
Yeah.
you know, doing all that. I mean, for me, it's like, that's the more traditional route of having your mom around. You know, even now, like when you look at TikToks or whatever, when people say, "Oh, what you miss most about home is being home, the home cooked meal, you know, the breakfast and whatever," but a lot of that stems from the mom being home. You know, like the roots of that is like your mom. You know, mom's home cooking.
Yeah.
People always say miss mom's home cooking. So just again, instilling whatever you know, beliefs that you have or in your child, but also just being there.
Right.
You know, you said earlier, you know, you can instill the point where, you know, you don't want, you know, would you say failing is okay?
Yeah.
It's not though.
No, but I don't want to say like failing is. When I say it's okay, I'm saying like
It's
learn
okay to
from your
learn from
it.
your mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know, it's you know certain things like that. Like learn how to cook rice properly.
Yeah.
You know, not with a level, but with your thumb or your finger or whatever.
We're making that Kyoto test kitchen. we're gonna make a measuring thing for rice. It's gonna be this. So it's just gonna be a hand that stands on the kitchen. It's like this, and then when you want to measure the rice, you just turn it over.
Yeah,
And it goes to the line.
it's up to this. I mean, no, but you know, again, it's just that.
Yeah.
I think that there's like, I think that a lot of times, I think it's crazy that at one you're starting to think about it, because I really didn't. I just kind of went with it, and I just made sure that, you know, whatever I felt was right was also what I'm going to instill in my daughter. Like, your dad's half right,
Yeah.
you know, to the point where he can't just have you running around doing whatever you want
Right.
either. You know, he might want, obviously he went overboard with it, but you also have to be a parent.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, there's. I don't want to make it sound like my dad was like this fucking worst bastard in the whole world or some shit, you know. But like, there's for sure some things that he distilled in me that I, for sure, want to put towards my kids. You know, like family is important, and the morals of having your family. You know, and like respecting others and being punctual and like, you know, things like that, right? I for sure want her to would like to learn. But I think I just been when you're like, oh, it's so crazy to think, I think it's just because that's all I know and all I remember being a kid. So I'm just worried about that, you know?
I will say this, and I think this goes along the lines of like what I've seen as far as the different parenting styles, because I remember that Alyssa's mom would tell her things that she couldn't do, and I would tell her things that she could do, but essentially we're saying the same things.
Yeah.
You know, so with her, she was a lot more worried. You know, I was a lot more lenient, but then I would help my daughter learn and basically like reward her as opposed to restrict her. So if for example, and I'm not saying that this is how the parenting was, but like let's say if Alyssa wanted to play outside, her mom would say, you can't play outside because you haven't done your homework. I would say you can play outside after you do your homework. So we're essentially saying the same things,
right?
But you know, it's one is more rewarding, one's more restrictive. So with her mom being a lot more worried about like, oh, she might get kidnapped if she goes outside, or she might fall down, or she might get too dark and nobody will, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, no, first off, it doesn't matter how dark she is because look at the ingredients that she's made out of.
I was about to say,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
it's like she's gonna look good.
It's like she's not gonna get away from the dark part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember my dad would always tell me like, you should be thankful because I didn't get to do this when I was a kid. Like he used to let me do sleepover like some of my friends' houses and stuff, you know? And he was like, you should be thankful because I didn't get to do this, you know? And I'm like, this was like my only freedom that I was able to do, you know?
Well, the one thing too is that raising a child, it always changes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's why I always say it's about you within, like you instilling your morals and your values or whatever, because she's gonna get to age 5 or 6. Now you're dealing with kindergarten, right? So now you're trying to see how you react to your daughter in an environment where she's interacting with other kids,
like adapting to different phases of her.
Yeah, and it keeps going. Next thing you know, you're like at high school age. Now you're worried about like how thoughty you were, you know,
boys and
what shit you were doing in high school.
Yeah.
She might be doing too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know what I mean.
I'm laughing because it's fun. I remember one time my mom was like, you're 18 now, and I was like, yeah, I know, or whatever. She's like, don't be trying to get fake IDs to go to the club, and I was like, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah,
okay. Just because
your mom had a list of what she was doing. Your mom pulls out her rap sheet. She's like, don't think about fake IDs.
Yeah.
Don't think about buying cigarettes, singles.
My daughter's all like, Dad, I don't need a fake ID. I'm just going to TJ. I was like, smart.
Yeah. That's funny that you brought that up because that was the first thing that popped in my head was my mom was telling me that.
We got to get your mom on the podcast.
Wait, what?
We got to get your mom on the podcast.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We can. You're invited.
Mama babes.
Mama babes, you got to come on the podcast.
Oh man, that is gonna be.
I'm pretty sure she has some crazy stories.
Yeah, I mean, I know for sure I put my parents through hell, right? I mean, what kid has not in some sort of ways, you know? But oh no.
No.
I was such an angel.
I want to know because there's obviously two sets of.
What do you want to know? I'll tell you. What the shit I did bad?
No, I want to know what your mom was thinking.
About what?
About all the stuff that you're doing. Well, or like sometimes it's like it's different, right? Because obviously your mom's not Filipino, but your dad is.
Yeah.
So there's two cultures there.
Right.
It's always interesting to see how the two cultures interact and with what we're doing and what we're, you know, what works here and what doesn't work there.
Yeah.
You know, certain things. Oh,
That's interesting that you bring that up because when I did live with my mom for 1 year during my high school year. It was my junior year of high school. So going from living the way my dad wanted me to live, or how I was raised by that, and then going to live with my mom, it was such a big shift for me. And I was just so used to doing the things like lie or like sneak out or whatever to be able to have this freedom. And then with my mom, like I was young, so like that's all I knew. So that's what I did with her. And I didn't think like I could just ask her, you know, or like be scared.
She's all nice and stuff. She's all like, "Oh, I hope she's safe. Let me put these condoms in her backpack."
Oh, so you're basically saying that you were so used to sneaking out, going undercover with your dad, that when you went to your mom, you kind of did the same thing, but you didn't know whether or not you could talk to her.
Like
you thought it was gonna be the same.
Yes. Yeah. And then it's I remember too, because not only did my dad, you know, like he treated me like a daughter, but then also like be his maid/wife. So I had to make sure I had like dinner for him. I always had to give him his insulin shots and like all this shit, right? So when I went to my mom's house, I was like, "So do you want fried rice for dinner?" She's like, "Why are you worried about what to eat for dinner? Like that's my job." And I'm like, "Oh, it is?" Like I didn't know that, you know? So it was like a weird shift.
Yeah, that's a whole different set of mountains you got to climb.
Dude,
we got to climb on this podcast, which is totally off topic now.
Yeah, no, now it's for sure off topic. But going to like click it back, I do think
but
about
I think
that
it's
stuff.
again, it's just the same thing. It's like you have, it's the communication, and you know, like knock on wood.
Mm-hmm.
Like something happens between you and Jason,
Yeah,
there's still that communication that you guys will still be on the same page.
we'll find out in the future episodes. I'm joking.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's again, it's that communication, and I think right now you just have to be like, just show your daughter like how to do things, like, you know, and just. I mean, their personality's not the same as like as their habits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know? It's like if they're gonna be impatient or whatever. I mean,
so
locks
she
in the
is.
3.
Gosh, already.
And you just have to sit there and kind of like, hey, steer that ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like if she's like, if it's in the morning, you got to change her diaper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's been times when it was like just a quick smack, but make it so that it's more of a loud sound than actual snap.
Like a hard, yeah.
They'll kind of snap.
Yeah.
They'll kind of stop. Then you could actually do it
real quick. Yeah. I gotta scare her a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true though, because I'll be like, hey, you know, I've done it before with my daughter. And be like, stop it.
Right.
And then they'll stop it. And then, you know, most of the time they will stop and kind of like, oh shit, like that's actually wrong.
Right.
You know, you gotta train them.
For sure. For sure.
One thing I learned is at 16 months, they're old enough to hear, "I'm gonna fuck you up."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna use that. It's in the books.
Oh, you know what's fun? Like when you blame them for something that's kind of minimal. You know, like you ever have like, okay, so
I'm ready for this one.
so you ever have like a squirt gun or something, or like Windex or some shit.
Yeah.
So you hand the Windex to, let's call her Alyssa, right? hand her the Windex. Then you shoot your wife with a water gun, and then put it in your pocket so she doesn't see it. And I'm like, why'd you do that? And blame Alyssa. It's like, Dad, I did it. And like, I don't know why, but I think that helped her be honest.
No, that's what helped her be like you, and it's so hilarious.
But she's like, she's such an angel. It's funny. But yeah,
We're not doing this again.
Wait, no, there's no downside in this. You mean to tell me you don't want something to end up like Alyssa, this is how you do it. You kick them down the stairs, throw rocks at their skateboard when they're riding it, and blame them for shit that you do on purpose.
There you go.
That's a good, I'm gonna take all those parenting tips.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
And that's going to be the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in to
It's the end of my parenting.
this parenting advice by Vince.
I guess this was my last episode, guys.
Like we don't tell them enough that you've
Yeah.
kicked her down the stairs.
Yeah, I didn't even kick her hard. That's her fault for not balancing, okay? So that lesson learned.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're looking for a studio to do photo shoots, any content creations, make sure you hit up the SD. Ooh, Pixel Lounge SD.
Wow.
Pixel Lounge SD. And
Yeah,
also
they're on
Peer space.
Pure Space.
yes, yes. And then was there anything else we need to?
No,
everybody?
we're good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys again so much, and we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.